Oppenheimer is such an epic movie in so many ways. The acting was great. This is one of my favorite films of this year so far. And if you're a fan of Christopher Nolan movies, then definitely check this one out because it is well worth the time. So based off the 2005 book, American Prometheus, this movie chronicles the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer, who was the first guy to create nuclear weapons as part of the Manhattan Project. And from there, it's a movie that requires a hefty undertaking for its viewers. It demands full focus on details and how the things were presented brilliantly in this story as well. And the sound mixing was done really well, where I actually understood what the characters were saying because there are some important moments in this film that are actually important to the overall story. And speaking of the story, I thought it was terrific. Now, I did know that Oppenheimer had created the first atomic bomb. I just didn't know about the aftermath of it all. And as far as the Christopher Nolan film is concerned, it certainly is one of the best films he's ever directed. And it is certainly thought-provoking. At the end of the day, this movie definitely had met my expectations. It's very entertaining and quite frankly, everyone should check this one out. And even if you're not a fan of Christopher Nolan's work, this is still a must watch. And I'm definitely looking forward to watching this one again. Now, I had said the acting is great, but my goodness, Cillian Murphy did a fantastic job playing J. Robert Oppenheimer. You can literally see it in his face after he creates this nuclear weapon like, oh, I want this to end wars. I didn't want to cause any kind of problems. But certainly he portrayed that emotion really well. Another standout was Robert Downey Jr. And sure, he could have phoned this performance in, especially from all that money he's made from those Marvel films. But he didn't. An interesting thing, his character is not in the movie much. And not only that, but the cast at large just did an awesome job. This is probably the largest cast I've seen in a movie. Visually, this movie's beautiful. The mere fact that Christopher Nolan didn't use any, digital effects, it's all practical, especially makes the movie feel more realistic. And speaking of which, Christopher Nolan, he could have just made this a paint-by-numbers film. What I really mean by that is that the whole event leading up to the creation of the first atom bomb, that could what the film could have been about. But no, this movie's about Oppenheimer and his thoughts of the aftermath of it all. Certainly, this is a film that's not for everybody. Some people will probably find this boring because it's very dialogue heavy, especially in that last hour. It feels like a trial-esque film by that point, but I also engaged with the characters. And certainly this was an interesting subject considering this movie definitely takes its, subject matter seriously. Quite frankly, this film is just a epic journey of one man who realized his mistakes. And there's just so many moments in this film without giving anything away about how just this subject is a particularly interesting point for Christopher Nolan to tackle. Certainly a must-see film, like I mentioned before, and when it comes down to it, this is certainly a film that definitely should win an Oscar, and I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up happening. I'm giving this film a 9 out of 10. Now, do I have anything negative to say about this one? Not really. I was, for the most part, entertained. And if anything, the 3-hour runtime certainly didn't feel like it because I was just so engaged with this movie. Christopher Nolan has always made great films. In fact, I don't think he's ever made a bad movie. And this one right here, it's just very compelling for what it is. And that is a remarkable, riveting film that is sure to leave a lasting impression. Now, the film score is both haunting and atmospheric. It fits well with the film's tone. And overall, this is an intellectual, stimulating film from beginning to end. There's not much else I can really say about this one. It's just I had a great time. And overall, this film right here proves why Christopher Nolan is still one of the best movie directors of the 21st century. And that is my review of the film Oppenheimer. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie if you have seen it. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.